You're listening to the only podcast that admits they might know what they are talking about.
I hope everyone has a ball.
This is We Might Know Sports with Stefan.
Or I'll just go down there and punch him in the face and call it a day.
Kevin. Gonzaga loses one game and you're threatening him every podcast now. And Corey.
No, he starts working out. Now he's a tough guy.
I am a tough guy.
Oh, he's got that testosterone flowing.
If anybody wants to listen to my podcast on fitness, this whole pizza in my mouth. Jesus.
Not appreciative of my Queen song, Stefan?
No. Not that appreciative of it.
All right, this is episode 16, and we are live once again on a lovely Monday afternoon here. I'm your host, Kevin, and if you're interested in texting us, you can text us at 425-780-6355. I am joined today by Stefan and Corey as usual. How was your weekend, gentlemen?
Long. Not in a good way.
Pretty good. Enjoyed some boxing.
Yeah, how'd that go? I haven't had a chance to watch it. I heard it was pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, if you're interested in starting to watch boxing, this is the fight to get you into it. Two heavyweights going at it. It was really entertaining.
Klitschko won, correct?
Joshua won.
We might know.
Hey, I know he was fighting, so I just knew it was a good boxing match. Is that what you call those things? Boxing matches?
Well, it's rare in boxing that the big events actually fulfill the hype, and this one did. So boxing needed that. It's been a few years.
So we have a lot to get to other than boxing because I know Stefan and I are amazing boxing analysts, and we've got a bunch of things to get to, including last week's draft in the NFL. The NBA and NHL are still playing in the playoffs. I know, shocking. And we'll make our NASCAR picks, and we'll talk a little bit about the Major League Baseball season, how it's going, and some layoffs happen in ESPN. Apparently, we're going to become the new source for all your hockey material. We'll get more on that later. And of course, Stefan's super secret top 5. So secret, I don't even know when it's going to appear in this show.
Nobody knows.
So let's get started with old story, rather old story, not too old. Actually, some new information just was released today about the Aaron Hernandez case. Corey's taking the lead on this story. Corey, what do you got for us?
Well, I was just going to start by giving us a background of all the trouble that Aaron has been in leading up to now. And I was going to start by saying in high school, from what scouts and everyone could say, is he was a really good kid. He was on the same team as his brother, and they were both supposed to go to UConn together. And during Aaron and his brother's final years at UConn, their father passed away from cancer, and I guess it was his father's dream for his sons to play together and go to UConn together because they're from Bristol, Connecticut area.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, when his father passed away, Aaron I think he took it hard and he decided to go on his own path, and he chose Florida because he said that he thought he'd get bored with the competition at UConn, that it would be too easy for him. That was his excuse at that time. So anyways, he goes to Florida under Urban Meyer, and relatively quiet, but he was accused of assaulting a bouncer at a bar in 2007. It was settled out of court, and obviously it was swept under the rug by the university. It never really made headlines. And also during his time in 2008, he was a person of interest in a double shooting. So him being around guns and violence, or being associated with it, starts there. Then we go quite a few years, because he goes on and has a stellar year, wins a national title with Team Tebow. We all know that, in Florida. Then he gets drafted by the Patriots. So we'll fast forward all the way up to 2012. He supposedly was feuding with a friend of the family, Odin Lloyd. It is rumored that Odin Lloyd accused Aaron Hernandez of being gay and used slurs such as limp wrist and schmoocher and other derogatory terms towards Aaron. This is just hearsay as to why Aaron may have killed Odin Lloyd, because there, as of now, is never been a motive. There's no motive. That wasn't a motive used, other than he was being harassed, because he supposedly had a high school boyfriend before he even had a fiance, and this Odin Lloyd was the boyfriend of his fiance's sister. Did you follow that? So he was worried. Aaron was worried that Odin Lloyd was going to tell his fiance that on the side he sleeps with men.
On the side.
You did some real detective work here, Corey. I don't think I've ever heard any of this stuff.
I heard a little bit earlier, so this is kind of intriguing. I didn't hear how in depth you're bringing this, Corey. So
I thought that I had heard that he was like that Odin Lloyd was gonna like rat him out for the double homicide or whatever. That's what I thought. Obviously.
Odin Lloyd, supposedly, no, there was another person that was going to rat on him. I was going to get to him later.
Okay, all right.
So that happened. Hernandez supposedly, well, I guess he did, because he was found guilty, killed Odin Lloyd with his friend Ernest Wallace, who is the one who just started leaking all the gay rumors and information. Because his friend, I guess, well, his old ex-friend had nothing to lose, because he's serving 4.5 to 7 years in prison because he helped get rid of the murder weapon and helped conceal some evidence in the Odin Lloyd trial. So he's found guilty of that. That was in 2013. In 2012, there was the incident at the bar that we're all hearing about now, the trial that took place this year. That is when Daniel De Abreu and Safiro Furtado, two young men, bumped into Aaron Hernandez in a club, supposedly. And
what kind of club?
I don't know. Aaron Hernandez is with his friend Alexander Bradley at the time. Alexander Bradley testifies that they pulled up alongside these two guys after the club, and Aaron opened fire into the car, killing both of them. Aaron Hernandez's lawyers argued that it was actually Alexander Bradley who did this. Now, Alexander Bradley is a famous gangster and drug dealer in the Florida area. So when Aaron was going to school there and had no money, Alexander Bradley would give him money, and he could buy all the things he wanted. And in return, Alexander Bradley wanted to live like the high life of meeting all the celebrities and everything, because Aaron could give that to him. So that was like their friendship, the trade-off. I'll give you money. You introduce me to Tom Brady. Let me rub shoulders with the who's who of everybody. So anyways, after that shooting occurred, and no one really ever linked Aaron Hernandez to it until much later. Alexander Bradley decides he's serving 5 years for drug trafficking and other things. So he feels like since he's behind prison, he's going to come at his best friend. And he starts to say and rat on Aaron Hernandez and saying that he did it. And the other thing that is interesting is Alexander Bradley testified that Aaron Hernandez became paranoid that he had been followed by the FBI and other people for that murder, that double murder. And he thought Alexander Bradley was telling the FBI. So one night, Bradley wakes up with a gun to his head. He's saying it's Aaron Hernandez holding the gun, and he shoots him point blank range. Bradley lives.
Jeez.
So Bradley says he calls Hernandez, basically says, "You know who this is," and hangs up, sending the threat that I'm coming to kill you after what you just did to me. So when Aaron gets in trouble for the Odin Lloyd trial and serves a life sentence, Bradley can no longer kill or seek revenge on Hernandez. So the only way to get revenge is to start ratting on him and put him away and try to get him the death penalty. So that's what our Hernandez lawyers were trying to say, is Bradley was just totally trying to seek revenge and all this, and he's not telling the truth. He was the one who actually killed him. So that's a little bit on Alexander Bradley and that whole part. Then, well, I guess we all know he got acquitted of the murders and subsequently hung himself. So I guess we should say supposedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Some of the details on that, I just wanted to say he has John 3:16 written on his forehead with his own blood. He has red markings on his wrists or his hands and feet, kind of resembling a crucifixion of Christ. And then there was 3 letters originally said to be to a daughter, a fiance, and a prison boyfriend.
Jesus.
Just recently today, it was released that the 3rd letter was not to a prison boyfriend, and it was in fact to his lawyer. And his lawyer has come out and said all this gay talk and all this homosexuality stuff linked to Aaron Hernandez is completely false. He doesn't know where this is coming from. The media is sensationalizing the story. So that's kind of the end of the Aaron Hernandez story. So my questions kind of were, would Bradley have gotten to him through prison anyways, do you guys think, and killed him? Do you think he may have had connections and maybe that's why he killed himself? Or do you think a prison officer or a person in the prison killed Aaron? Or do you think Aaron just couldn't handle being in prison anymore? What are you guys' thoughts?
So I'm a conspiracy theorist, and there's many ways you can look at this. I was talking to someone about this earlier today, and they said that if he wasn't found guilty, that New England still owed him $4 million, and that's why he hung himself, was so his kids would get the $4 million. According to Black Twitter, I told you guys this. I was looking at it earlier today, and it kind of shut down my phone. So maybe I'm on to something. Or maybe my phone just got infected with a virus.
Probably that.
But according to Black Twitter, they found a blood-drawn triangle, kind of similar to what you find on the back of a $1 bill, and Illuminati written underneath it. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth. You know, it is Black Twitter, so who knows?
I did see that. I didn't add that because I don't know. I haven't heard enough other people reporting that yet.
But I'm a conspiracy theorist, because unless his kids are getting the $4 million, I don't see why he would do it now. I don't understand why he would do it. So
I do have that, Kevin. There is a Massachusetts law that if you die during an appeal of a conviction, because he was appealing the Odin Lloyd murder, then the conviction is null if you die during the appeal. So therefore, he never violated his Patriots contract as far as getting in trouble under that contract. And his daughter, it says in this one, his daughter would get his whole estate, which is up to $15 million.
Oh yeah.
So there's that conspiracy that maybe he did that to pay off his daughter before, since he could never see her again, really, or never be with her. But if he knew about that law, they're saying he would have really had to do a lot of research in prison. But you do have a lot of time, so
you also have a lawyer.
Yeah, that's true.
Stefan, your thoughts on this crazy story?
I mean, originally I thought it was super fishy. I don't know. It could have either just, I don't know. I didn't see why you would kill yourself after you had just gotten found not guilty of one of the crimes. I mean, I know he was still going away for a long time. But if that whole thing is true, where his daughter or daughters, or I don't know if he's got multiple daughters or what it was, they get all his money, that would make sense. Then obviously, if he had lost the appeal, they weren't going to get any of that money. So I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty big sacrifice. I mean, to make for your kids.
It's the ultimate
Yeah.
sacrifice.
I mean, he was sentenced to life in that first trial, correct?
Correct. With no parole. He was going away. It was life. That was it.
So
that's why the second one, if he was found guilty of killing those two, he was probably going to get the death penalty, and that was going to be the end.
Yeah, so I'm thinking either had to be that or somebody else killed him, because if he didn't, I don't see why he would just. I don't see him killing himself just because he doesn't want to do the life sentence. Like, there had to be another motive to that, I would think. Or somebody else killed him and set it up as a suicide.
The toxicology report did just come out today, too, saying there was no drugs in his system, but there was that K2 synthetic marijuana found in his jail cell. But that's just neither here nor there, really. But a lot of people thought maybe he got high and decided to do this, but in fact, he was not.
Right. It's a sad ending to what could have. I mean, he could have had a great career, but obviously he was a little bit more of a troubled individual than most people.
I think he did a good job faking it for a long time, so it kind of makes him falls under sociopath. Right. Honestly.
Right. Yeah.
To be linked all the way to 2007 to 2017, it's a long time of criminal mischief.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. You ever known a criminal to not have some kind of alternate side? Maybe I just watch too much TV. Maybe that's my problem.
I do think that even though he may not be as famous as O.J. Simpson, he does take the cake as the ultimate sports criminal.
So are we going to see a 10-part series on FX soon about Aaron Hernandez? Is that going to be the next OJ?
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised if there is a movie or something.
Here's an even bigger question: is what would the Patriots be if say Aaron Hernandez hadn't been this psychopath killer guy and just been normal, and just him and Gronkowski were just dominating? Do you think that they would have kept both of those tight ends, or one of them would have gone for greener pastures? Which I don't know how you can get greener pastures, but maybe more money.
I think eventually they would have had to been split up, but I see maybe like that 17-0 happening again.
Yeah.
I think what's crazy is in the beginning, a lot of people thought Hernandez was the one with more talent. That gives you an idea of the kind of player he was before all this happened.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like when they were both there, I remember Aaron Hernandez more. Than once he left, then it was like the Gronkowski show, and he just took over and dominated.
Right.
Or is this also the Patriot system? I mean, do you got to give credit to Bill Belichick?
Well, yeah.
You do, but also winning a national championship says something too.
Yeah, but so did Tim Tebow, won that same national championship.
Correct. And Urban Meyer is, I think, a college football legend at this point.
Yeah.
And what is Tim Tebow now? Like what, outfielder for the Mets single A?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's outfielder.
How the mighty are. So thanks, Corey. That was I definitely wanted to hear that story because of I didn't know too much about him. I didn't really care. I kind of had a little bias, but it's interesting to hear some of that detail. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely didn't know as much as you told us about. That's for sure.
Sometimes I like doing biographical research on some players, so I took the opportunity.
Hey, any future podcasts you want to do some more? I'm definitely down because that was fun.
Alrighty.
All right, so moving on to the amazing Philadelphia, city of brotherly love.
Good evening and welcome to the NFL Draft. Come on, Philly, come on. There you go.
2 thumbs up from Roger Goodell.
We are thrilled to be back here in Philadelphia.
All right. So the NFL draft happened in Philadelphia this past weekend. And lo and behold, guess who took in number 1 overall? Myles Garrett from Texas A&M, as we predicted it here first.
Yeah. I think that was like 1 of 2 I predicted.
After that, it got pretty interesting pretty quick. Chicago traded San Francisco, 2-3 swapped, and San Francisco got a couple other later round picks, and I believe they got first round for next year out of that.
San Francisco got a haul out of that.
Yeah. And in return, Chicago picked Mitchell Trubisky, the North Carolina quarterback. Shocking. I think everyone there, analyst-wise, was pretty surprised at who they picked. Were you guys surprised seeing how they just signed Mike Glennon to that 3-year deal?
I don't know. Like, so they were supposed to get number 3 pick, right? And San Fran had number 2.
Yep.
So were they afraid that San Fran was going to take them, or were they afraid that somebody else was going to trade up there and take?
I think they were more afraid of trading up. From the story I read today, they wouldn't tell San Francisco who they were trading for, but they assured them that it was no one they were interested in. And I know John Lynch is the 49ers' new GM, and he said that he was kind of surprised. He was surprised they didn't go after Salmon,
right?
Who they ended up picking at 3. So interesting moves, to say the least, because didn't they also pick up another quarterback as well? So the Bears are just doubling down on quarterbacks all of a sudden after the Jay Cutler fiasco.
Yeah, and then they signed Mike Glennon to that huge contract too.
And
they're just hoping somebody sticks, I guess.
Somebody work for us.
Not even the Browns are that desperate for a quarterback, and they haven't.
My only question is, what if Mitchell Trubisky goes on to be an all-pro quarterback? Was that a bad move to give all that up for a franchise quarterback?
If it works out.
Still, the question is what, like, they had the next pick. If they knew that San Francisco wasn't interested in him, then they must have been afraid that somebody else was going to trade with San Fran.
That's what I'm assuming.
Maybe San Fran played them and was like, "Yeah, we're getting a lot of offers for this number 2 pick."
Well, it sounded more like they were just paranoid that someone else was going to jump ahead of them and grab it.
Which,
go ahead.
I was going to say, when we get farther into the draft, the trend was to trade up and get quarterbacks, so they don't seem to be that far off.
I just don't know if this was the draft to trade up to trade that much for a quarterback. I mean,
Trubisky is very unproven. I didn't know this about him until draft day, but he went 8-5 as a North Carolina quarterback, and he had a tendency to overthrow his receivers. He's very he wasn't a starter before his senior season, so he doesn't have that experience,
right?
That they were saying. Then
where you have like Deshaun Watson, who's obviously very proven. Whether or not it translates to the NFL is yet to be seen, but he at least he knows how to win.
But I don't know if he fits in that system.
Right, and I know you got to factor in that, who fits your system and stuff, but
I thought Houston made a great move on getting him. I think that
Yes.
could be a perfect. They have so many weapons to help Deshaun develop.
Right.
They could throw him right into the Lions' den now, and I think he'd be okay. You have Lamar Miller to give it off to,
Yeah.
and you have DeAndre Hopkins if you're in trouble, along with Will Fuller, the rookie they had last year. So he has some help. He could be successful in that system. And Bill O'Brien, I think, is a great coach.
3 quarterbacks were taken in the top 12, which was surprising for this weak quarterback class. Weak, quote unquote. Who knows? We'll see what happens this year and years to come. The other top 5 pick that I was surprised that he was still there was Leonard Fournette. Apparently, that ACL tear was enough to scare at least the 49ers and the Bears away from him. Apparently, the Bears feel that quarterback is where they need more of their focus on. Who's their running back?
They got that good young guy there.
That good young guy.
The Bears
Why
have
can't-
Jordan. Bears have Jordan Howard. He was
Yeah.
he was great.
But
He
the
was
I don't know
Niners,
if he was rookie of the year offensively or not, but he was right up there.
He was a rookie last year. I know. Yeah.
I
that's what
I
meant,
feel like John Lynch is influencing the 49ers too much on defense and not focusing on offense because they don't really have one of either side. And in this draft, they seem to be focused more on, at least in the first round. I didn't pay attention to them afterwards. Their 2 picks in the first round were both defensive players, I believe. Yeah. No, their 31st pick was the inside linebacker from Alabama.
They
Oh.
did end up taking a quarterback. The Browns did later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that. And hey, it's Cleveland. It's definitely always a work in progress. I think that was like what their 12th top 5 pick since they've come back into the league in '99.
I feel like if Cleveland doesn't draft a quarterback at least in one of the 7 rounds, it's not an actual NFL draft.
It's not a Cleveland draft.
Mike Williams went to San Diego in the 7th round. That's going to be interesting.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, sorry.
We're gonna do that how many times this year? Probably all of us.
Shay's got to slap the shit out of you.
San Diego in our heart.
I bet she probably still calls him San Diego.
We'll find out soon enough. But Mike Williams, that's an interesting pick for San Diego. I know a lot of people were a little interested to see if they picked a quarterback to replace Rivers. They did not. Instead, they gave him a little help. We'll see how he translates into the NFL, but I liked him. I wish he was on Tampa Bay as that third receiver coming in as a rookie.
I think that was a really good pick for him.
Him paired up with Keenan Allen there.
If he could stay healthy.
It kind of reminds me of when Tampa Bay picked up Mike Evans. He had Vincent Jackson on the other side, so it kind of helped them develop that rookie year.
Right.
Well, you
And
have the other rookie too there.
Yeah, that other guy was
Tyrell Williams, who had a
Yeah.
really good year.
So, good things to come for San Diego there. I didn't have any problems with that pick. How did you feel about pick number 14, Stefan, with your Eagles picking Derek Barnett from Tennessee, defensive end?
Originally it was a what the fuck? Because I was looking for like a either a running back or I wanted Delvin Cook, but we just missed on him. Or I was looking at corner, which they ended up getting in the 2nd round anyways, or was that later in the 1st round?
No, that was the second.
It was 2nd round.
Yep.
So, but then I watched some videos of him, and he looks like a good speed rusher. And then I just got a little notification here a little bit ago that their last 1st round defensive end that they picked up, they are not picking up his 5th-year option. So that works out because that guy did absolutely jack shit for us, and I'm happy he's gone.
Derek Barnett did break Reggie White's all-time sack.
Yes, I just heard that today too, so I'm pretty excited.
Feeling a little better about this pick?
I heard he would have been higher up if his combine numbers weren't so bad, but his on-tape film, they said, is unbelievable.
Right. And he sounds like, I mean, from what I've heard, interviews and stuff, he's just ready to get to work and So, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people say that coming in, obviously, but hopefully he works hard and makes, if not an immediate impact, hopefully in the next year or two.
Corey, your team at number 9 picked someone we talked about a month ago at the Combine, John Ross, setting the fastest time at 4.22. You like the pick, or do you think they should have went elsewhere first before they start addressing receivers?
I thought they should have went elsewhere. I wanted a defensive end because it was so heavy in this draft. And with John, I would have taken Jonathan Allen, who ended up dropping all the way down to Washington. I was surprised at his free fall. A lot of people had him as a top 5 talent. But I think the Bengals panicked because they wanted a wide receiver this year. But Corey Davis, I believe, went 5th to Tennessee. Yeah. And then when Mike Williams went, because I think the Bengals thought they were going to get him, they panicked and they took the next best thing. I would have waited. I would have taken a defensive end and then waited into the second round and taken that. I was high on that Juju Smith-Schuster, who Pittsburgh ended up taking in the second round, and caused a feud between Martavis Bryant and Sammy Coates already. I don't know if you saw their Twitter war.
No,
I did not.
When Pittsburgh Steelers drafted him, someone wrote to Martavis Bryant, looks like your replacement just got picked. And Martavis put, no, I'm not replaced. Sammy Coates is.
Jesus.
And then Sammy Coates said something. And then who's their coach there? Can't think of his name right now. The Steelers coach.
Mike Thompson.
The coach.
Mike Thompson.
Yes. Yeah. He got on Twitter and he put, play nice, boys, play nice. So trying to diffuse the situation.
Yeah.
Oh,
good luck with that.
But anyways,
controversy sells tickets. I don't know what
instead of the Bengals having to play against this young kid, I would have liked to have him. He was a good receiver out of USC. And then in our second round, we went a little wild. We took someone who was in my top 10 prospects with Joe Mixon, but with that pick, a lot of controversy is going to surround the Bengals all year.
What kind of controversy?
Those are the kind of players they're used to having on their team, though. You know,
the
troublemakers.
They've done well with Pac-Man. I mean, he doesn't get in trouble much. Tank Johnson, they did well.
What's there to do in Cincinnati anyway? Now
I don't know. They held T.O. in check. They held Chad Johnson in check. So they might be able to hold Joe Mixon in check. Again, though, on the offside, they did draft Chris Henry out of West Virginia, the wide receiver. He ended up dying in a domestic dispute. So you can't save everybody. So we'll see.
Right.
My team ended up actually picking someone from many people's top 5. He had a free fall tight end out of Alabama, O.J. Howard. Definitely addressed one of their needs, seeing how their last starting tight end, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, ended up having some domestic issues and released from the team last year. So
is that what happened to him?
Yeah. I believe.
What about Cameron Brate, though? Is he that bad? Are the fans and the team that disappointed with him?
I think it's more or less they need another option because you do need 2 tight ends in some of the formations Tampa runs. Mm-hmm. So it gives them that second tight end at the very least, gets that youth into it because there's very few offensive positions that are needed right now because they're all very young. Maybe a wide receiver.
What about a running back?
That's debatable. Depends on how Doug Martin and his usage of recreational drugs is this year. And I mean, Rodgers was injury prone, but he was an amazing pickup from Chicago. And I can't remember. I mean,
it's Sims too, right?
Sims, yeah. Or no, actually, I think Sims got traded away.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure that out come August. But I got to know the lineup at one point of the entire Tampa Bay running back depth chart, seeing how they all got hurt all the way down to the 4th or 5th string last year. I was flipping through NFL.com to try and get some reference of how other teams drafted, and it seems a little biased considering it's the NFL, and apparently they don't want to shoot down any team. No one got an F in their draft coverage, and the Bills got straight A's. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah,
I think the Niners, I heard though, on most people's boards had the best grade.
Yeah, that's what I researched that. I saw that the Niners,
They were able to get
Buffalo doesn't get an A in anything, so there's no way they got an A in drafting.
How
do they get an A in drafting and then fire their GM?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And their whole scouting staff.
I don't understand that. You let the guy do the draft and then you fire him. Like,
apparently, from what I heard, is that the new head coach there, what's his name, Sean McDermott, I believe, right?
Yes, yeah, you're right.
He had a big. I think it was mostly him doing the drafting. But obviously, all the research and everything that went into that was not just Sean McDermott. So all those people got canned, along with GM Doug Whaley.
I don't know. I don't find that a good winning strategy to fire your GM. Though
I think it sends a shockwave through your whole locker, your whole team, organization.
Well, like what I keep hearing from everybody is that like a GM season basically starts like after the draft. That's where they start. Like obviously research draft and all that, trying to put together a team. But like I've seen plenty of GM. I don't think I've ever seen a GM get fired after the draft. I've seen them all get fired at the end of the season, or like during the off season. So I don't know where that comes from.
I know my team didn't fire their GM, so
I know my team did. I still got Howie Roseman running the table here.
Woo!
Hopefully, you can figure it out.
Dream team.
Any picks stand out to either of you guys that your team took? Did you like anybody? Dislike anybody?
I like the wide receiver we took from North Carolina. He won't have to come in and do anything right away, so he'll get some time to develop and hopefully be effective. Hopefully not turn into another. I can't even think of his name. He pisses me off so much.
Aguilar?
Yeah, fucking Aguilar, that asshole. Hopefully he's better than that. And I also like their little Darren Sproles wannabe running back that they picked up. Hopefully he can be another Darren Sproles. That would be awesome. But he apparently led the FBS, and I think he broke the all-time record, or he just led the nation last year. Maybe. Obviously, it's a lesser talent, but I think it still says something.
Yeah. Well, I remember when TCU wasn't a big school and LaDainian Tomlinson was leading the league or leading the country in rushing, and nobody thought much of him. And look at what happened there. So,
right. I feel like I know a lot of people look down on like talent-wise and stuff, but I mean, if you can do it and you put in the work, especially once you get to the next level, I mean, if you stay hungry and you just keep wanting it, I don't see any reason why you can't be one of the best, you know?
I know that's why a lot of people are already praising the Patriots, because they just an undrafted free agent. They just signed the wide receiver out of Northwestern. He led the Big Ten in receiving yards per game with 150 a game, and he broke all kinds of records, and he won Big Ten Player of the Year or Offensive Player of the Year, and he didn't even go drafted. And here you go again, the Patriots finding some guy like that and grabbing him.
Yeah. I don't see their scouting staff getting fired anytime soon.
No.
I liked Tampa Bay's draft overall because they addressed the tight end need. They addressed the depth at halfback. They picked someone up in one of the later rounds, and they also addressed some defensive backs and linebacker situations and defensive linemen, excuse me. So they hit the areas that they needed to. Whether or not it turns into a winning formulation, we'll find out later this year. But I feel confident in their at least shot at a playoff berth finally. Corey, how are you feeling about yours?
I thought the first 2 rounds we kind of missed the mark, even though I told Stefan outside of the podcast, because Joe Mixon I was a big fan of because I'm a big fan of Oklahoma football. So I was excited to have him, but I am worried with the media coverage and everything. Sometimes that bothers a team. But I was really happy that right after those picks, we did finally go for the defensive ends, and we did 2 of them right in a row. I guess Jordan Willis is what people say about him. He's supposed to be really good, and there was a lot of value in getting him that late in the 3rd round. So, and then they got Carl Lawson, another defensive end out of Auburn. So hopefully those 2 help Carlos Dunlap and Geno Atkins on the line.
All right, so we'll see. More to come in July for NFL. I think we get like a 2-week absence of NFL, or 2-month absence of NFL talk from us for a little bit. Unless you guys can think of anything that happens between now and summer training camps. I almost called it spring training.
We'll talk about wherever Kaepernick goes and Cutler.
If they get picked up. Didn't Vince Young get picked up by a Canadian team?
He was talking about going to Canadian team. I don't know if he ended up actually getting picked up or
I
not.
thought I read he finally got picked up by someone. If only we had a fact checker or something.
If only. Should we do Stefan's super secret, top secret, totally biased top 5 right now?
I don't know. It depends. What's it about?
It's about, it's actually, it's the top 5 worst NFL teams post-draft. So I guess it would be actually the bottom 5.
Bottom 5, pound for pound, worst teams in the NFL.
Let's hear it.
Ooh.
It fits in perfect.
So we'll see if you guys agree or disagree.
We need like a special like interruption.
He needs his own music.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. I need to have
Yeah.
I gotta have something where I can where it takes over the whole podcast. That way
Yeah.
you guys,
Ooh.
like a siren or something. I'll work on that. Give me a couple weeks. I'll have it figured out.
All right. So let's
All right.
hear it. Pound for pound, worst teams. Starting with the worst, or are we going to start from the 5th worst?
What would you guys like?
5th worst. I want to get the big
worst.
reveal at the end.
So this would be technically number 27
Yes.
best team. So I've got the Rams. I think Jared Goff will be a little bit better this year. I don't know if he's really got much around him yet, but I think they'll be a little better this year than they were. And then after that, we got the Chicago Bears. I don't know what the fuck they're doing at quarterback, but I think we're all about to find out. And I don't think it's going to be much.
So I just wanted to add this into your awesome, amazing. The Rams scored 224 points last year. The next closest team in the NFC was at 279, the Chicago Bears.
Oh, nice.
The Jets had 275, and the Browns had 264. So they were the lowest scoring team in the league, and they allowed 394 points.
It's not bad.
I think the only one that allowed more was the Falcons. Oh, well, never mind. That's a lot of teams. But
I thought that everybody was talking about the Rams defense last year. Wasn't the Rams defense really good?
Rams defense was pretty good. That's kind of like in the middle, it looks like, because I just
Okay. I was gonna say there's no way they were the worst defense.
I went down to the NFC South, and you got the Falcons at 406, Saints at
Okay.
454, and the Panthers
All right.
at 402.
I was gonna say I thought they had one of the better defenses last year.
They have
They
the
just
best defensive tackle in football.
Yeah.
That
Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just have no offense, basically.
No. And Aaron Donald can't do everything, and neither can who's their linebacker there that's really good? Ogletree?
Yeah.
Alec? Yeah.
Alec Ogletree, yeah.
Yeah. They have good young talent and
They do.
defense.
I think they'll start. I don't think they're going to make any big moves this year, but they should start to look a little bit better.
I think it's all going to come down to when they have that fancy new stadium built.
Yeah.
That's when they're going to turn around and watch.
Oh, mark your word, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Did they get Goff?
Episode
any
115.
Did they get Goff any receivers or any help?
I don't know if they did. I don't even know who their receivers are. They still have.
They have Kenny Britt, and
Is Kenny Britt there? No, Kenny Britt. I thought Kenny Britt went to the.
but they had Kenny Britt and Tavon Austin.
Tavon Austin, I know they have. No, Kenny Britt. Didn't he just go to the Browns? Or who'd the Browns get?
Oh, I don't know.
Browns got some receiver. They replaced. What's this? I don't know if it was Kenny Britt.
I know the Browns got rid of. Well, they didn't get rid of,
Yeah.
but Terrell Pryor left to go to Washington.
Right. I think they replaced him with Kenny Britt.
So the
Okay.
Rams didn't even have a first round pick this year.
No, they
Yeah,
gave it away
yeah.
for Goff.
So hopefully Goff pans out for them, or else they're
Yeah.
really screwed.
They did get a tight end.
There you go. So they're on the up and up.
Yeah, they're about 27th. So keep
Yeah.
going.
After that, they're the Bears because I just don't know what the fuck they're doing. They were awful before they lost Jay Cutler, and I don't see them being much better this year. After that, what do you got to say?
Mike Glennon, come on.
What about Mike Glennon?
Jordan
Why don't-
Howard.
Why didn't you guys keep him if he was so great?
Because he was amazing, so amazing. He had 30 career touchdown passes versus 15 interceptions, so he wasn't too bad. He just didn't do much offensively.
Okay. Exactly.
He completed 90.9% of his passes last year and threw for 75 yards.
What do you throw? Like
Four
Four-
touchdown.
four
One
or
touchdown.
five? Four completions, 5
I-
attempts?
I think that was when Jameis got hurt and he yeah. All right, go on. Sorry.
And I don't even know what they have for wide receiver. I know they have that.
They have Cameron Meredith.
I don't
And then
know
they have
who that
Kevin
is.
White, who they
Kevin
drafted
White,
a couple
yeah.
years ago. That
Kevin
came
White's
healthy.
But they obviously don't have Alshon Jeffrey anymore.
I just saw this headline about Mike Glennon that makes me laugh.
Oh yeah, I saw something. He
Asked
was-
Mike Glennon to be at Soldier Field for the draft party, then traded up for his replacement.
Yeah. I heard that on Sport or something. One of the Sports Nation, I think, or something this morning. All right, so then after the Bears, the third worst team. Am I saying that right? Third best.
Third
Yeah.
best worst team.
Third best. No, you're going the wrong way.
No, I'm going the right way.
Third worst team.
Third worst team.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. I got
Because
the
if you're
Jets.
saying third worst best team, that makes it sound like you're going from bottom to top.
Third, yeah, okay. Third worst. Well, either way, it's right in the middle. If it's the best worst team or the worst team, it's right in the middle.
But I don't want them to get confused when we
All
get
right.
to number 2 and 1.
Okay. So I've got the Jets. I don't know if you guys heard that, but
Yeah, what is up with that?
one of the guys that was like making the picks for the Jets, like went on and was like,
Throwing darts at a dartboard.
he's like making the pick for the Jete. I don't even know how he got Jete, but
I do
apparently
think they got the best player in the whole draft on their team.
who?
Jamal Adams.
Yeah, but is he going to turn? I mean, they still have no quarterback, so
No, he's not going to be able to completely change the franchise by himself, but I think he's going to be a star right away.
I thought Ryan Fitzpatrick was the starter.
no, he's gone, isn't he?
He's gone.
Fairly certain he's gone.
He's gone. They're going to do a
He's gone, and
Hackenberg or Petty.
And Geno Smith is gone too.
Right. It's Christian Hackenberg or Bryce Petty.
Yeah.
No, Ryan Fitzpatrick's still on the team.
Well, they don't play him.
Oh,
So,
Josh McCown's on the team as well.
yeah,
Oh, he'll probably start.
yeah, it'll probably be Josh McCown. Either way, they're awful.
No
They're
Brandon
awful.
Marshall.
They're not going anywhere. So who's even their running back anymore? I don't even know who their running back is. I don't have a good running back. No Brandon Marshall. They don't have a good wide receiver.
Eric Decker's good.
Okay, but he's got nobody throwing the ball.
No.
They're just not a good team.
No, they're bad.
I feel like they were bad last year, and they probably just got worse. So
It is the Jets.
It is the Jets. After that, we'll go with everybody's favorite Cleveland Browns. With
Not
the
number one.
Uh-oh, surprise
number one.
alert.
Not number one. I think they
Self-explanatory.
they I feel like they got a pretty good haul out of this draft. So
This is a highly debatable top 5 pound for pound again.
it's not debatable. It's facts. Well,
They
All right,
can
let's
only
hear
go
it.
up from 1 in 15, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so then who'd they end up getting for? Or they got Brock Osweiler there, so he could do
Yeah.
something.
They're going to try to build Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah, they got Deshaun Kaiser. They got some good weapons.
All the way, Cleveland Browns.
They're coming. They're up and coming. They're up and coming out of that number 1 worst spot to the number 2 worst spot.
Moving
And,
on up. Or down, however you
Okay.
want to look at it.
Okay, who did it? Hit the drums. Who's the worst team?
Do you guys want to have any guesses? Okay, I'll let you guys guess.
I forgot who we were already saying here. Hold on. Do.
You want me to repeat them for you?
No.
Yeah, I do.
We got Rams, Bears, Jets, and Browns.
Oh, then it's got to be the Niners.
Corey?
Jacksonville.
And the winner is Kevin.
Yeah,
49ers.
it's got to be.
49ers. They
How
have,
could it not be the Niners?
They have absolutely nothing. I don't even know. I don't even know if they're playing this year, to be honest with you.
Hey, they ended the season on a 1-game losing streak. I think the sky's the limit for the Niners.
That's the limit. I don't even know. They got rid of Blaine Gabbert. They got rid of what's his face?
Kaepernick.
What's his face?
They brought in
Brian Hoyer
Brian Hoyer.
and Matt Barkley.
Brian Hoyer, the career backup quarterback who somehow gets starting jobs every once in a while. And Matt Barkley, who should never be starting ever.
Didn't he start for USC back in like 2007?
Yes. No, sooner.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and he also actually started for my very own Philadelphia Eagles.
And he started for the Bears last year, and he actually had some good games.
I don't know if I'd call him good games, but
Better than someone else.
he had some games. Better than who?
Well,
Cutler.
better than Cutler.
I would still take Cutler over Matt Barkley any day. I watched him play on Philadelphia. Unless he's really improved that much, no.
Fun fact, Brian Hoyer and Matt Barkley were the 2 quarterbacks for the Bears last year.
They were a package deal.
Must
Sorry.
have the same agent or something.
Something. They got like a discount for signing both of them.
I don't know.
Hey, I'm not going to allow you to sign Barkley without him because, they're just so good together. I mean, they feed off of each other's energy.
One of them can grab water for the other, and you can switch them up. It doesn't even matter.
They share the same house. I mean, it's cheaper housing.
Are you trying to say they're a couple or something?
No, you can have.
They hang out with Aaron Hernandez?
Yeah.
Don't start rumors, all right? We're gonna end up going missing here soon.
You heard it here first. If I go missing,
You're on the West Coast too, so you better watch yourself.
it's a long flight.
It's not that long.
Longer.
All right, so
right.
what do you guys think? You guys agree, disagree?
I'm surprised Jacksonville wasn't on your list.
I think they'd probably be like number 6, 7.
Honorable
Yeah.
mention.
Secretly, he likes Jacksonville.
I do. I'm
I'm
They're more-
surprised they got
one of
what's
those
this?
pisses me off. Like when we were doing pick 'em, I would like pick them to win like every week, and they wouldn't win. And then I wouldn't pick them to win, and then next week they would win. And I was just like, I just could not win with them.
They got Coughlin. I mean, he's a rival, kinda. He used to be a Giants.
I thought that last year I thought they were going to build, because the year before that they were up and coming. They were starting. Their offense was starting to look really good. Their defense looked awful, and then this past year, I think their offense took a step back, and all of a sudden they weren't as good. So
Didn't Blake Bortles get hurt though?
Well,
I don't know if he got hurt, but he
Yeah.
didn't play. He didn't play as well as he did.
No, he didn't play well. And Allen Robinson didn't play well.
But I mean, that could go hand in hand with Blake Bortles not playing well.
And having
Obviously.
no running game, but that's what
Yeah.
they tried to fix with Leonard Fournette. So
That's why I think they might be a little more improved this year. If Leonard Fournette can be halfway decent, they should be. I think they'll be okay.
Well, I think that is our final NFL segment for the next 2 months. Unless Stefan hits us with another burp, 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 top
Yeah.
5. I'll get working on your music. How about that?
Yeah.
And then you can just give me like a signal, like, oh, I think it's that time.
All right. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. All right. So some things happened in the NBA. We finally made it out of the first round yesterday.
Hey.
Yay.
And not before we started the second round. Oh, I love how that. I got in a big argument with one of my friends. He was like, "How are they playing in the second round? They haven't even finished the first round yet." And I was like, "Dude, they're playing right now." And he didn't. He refused to believe me, and I had he thought it was impossible. I was like, "No, that's actually happening right now."
Terrible. But you guys like to talk NBA, so I guess we can talk about it again. We got to make our second round picks anyway. And let's start off with how we did. Let me find the right paper. That's the NHL. All right. So Stefan went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for 8.
Yeah,
Only getting the Bucks wrong.
yeah.
However, he only predicted 2 series completely right, the Celtics and the Utah Jazz.
I don't care as long as I got the right team. I'm good.
Corey, you went 5 of 8. You started off hot in the West Coast, but got 2 wrong in the East.
Who did you get? You got the Bucks wrong, and you got who?
Chicago. You said Chicago.
Oh, you did take Chicago. That's right.
Mhm.
What
He's
an
being-
idiot.
He was
What an
being
idiot.
a son of a bitch, I think, more than anything.
No, he really did believe, and I was honestly thinking after the first 2 games that they probably weren't gonna. But
I really did believe it. I really thought experience was going to beat them.
So I also went 5 of 8. Pretty much the same picks as Corey. I got right.
So I guess we know who the NBA expert is.
I don't appreciate this.
All you had to
All
do
right.
was go talk.
I know. Why didn't you guys do that?
I don't
Hello?
know.
The fucking
Besides
NBA.
Utah.
It's the NBA.
Unfortunately, I lost my East Coast or Eastern Conference pick in the Milwaukee Bucks. RIP.
Yeah. That was a
So I'm
smart,
gonna have to pick someone else.
that was a
this-
smart pick.
Hey, it would have worked out for me.
Oh, would it have?
Yeah.
They couldn't make it out of the first round, but yeah, apparently it would have worked out because it would have beaten all the better teams. Huh?
That's how that works, right?
I guess.
All right, so Boston Celtics versus Washington Wizards. Boston's already played yesterday. Won 123 to 111.
I think the only highlight anybody needs to know about this game is the toothless Thomas. Isaiah Thomas getting his front tooth knocked out and continuing to play and putting up
He's-
33 points or however many points he put up.
And how about Jay Crowder, Avery Bradley, and Isaiah Thomas going nuts from 3?
They also
Tom.
started off losing the game 16-0. So that was interesting.
That doesn't help. And we'll start with Stefan's pick, seeing how he's the Celtics fan. How do you feel this one's gonna finish, Stefan? I feel like you're gonna pick the Celtics anyways, but
This is a tough series. Washington's a good team, but actually, did I pick them to come out of the East?
no.
No, I
You
didn't.
you picked Washington.
So I just said, did I pick Washington
I
to come out of the
thought
East? Is what I meant. So it would be kind of stupid for me to pick against Washington. But I feel like after Celtics won game 1 and they've won the last 5 games, that maybe they can actually pull this out. So I'm going to say Boston in 6 again.
All right, and Corey, you're second on my list, so I'm going to call on you second.
I'm going with the same exact thing. I think Washington is going to hold their first 2 home games and then lose after that, lose their 3rd home game. I think Boston holds at home the whole time.
So I'm going to go Washington in 6.
That's
because I'm trusting Stefan's opinion in the first round.
It's going to be a very chippy series, though. These 2 teams do not like each other. So it's going to be
interesting to watch. I'll probably watch some of that action for a change.
John Wall is unbelievable.
Their next game is on Tuesday on TNT.
Al Horford has been showing up as of late for you guys.
So is Kelly Olynyk.
He had 20 points and 10 assists and 9 rebounds in that game.
Kelly Olynyk representing the Zags. Go Zags. Still talking about you.
All right, on to the other, what is it, semifinal, Eastern Conference semifinal?
Yeah.
Is that how we call that?
Yes, that's how you
I get confused until you get to the finals of the conferences.
Yeah.
Cleveland versus Toronto, 2-3 matchup. First game is tonight
right now,
starting right now.
Right now, 2 minutes ago, actually.
So, Stefan,
I'll let Corey go first because this is Corey's team, quote unquote team.
Apparently, I'm not the host anymore.
Dude, you're the one that always says co-host, so I'm pulling the co-host card right now. Take it over.
I'm taking Cleveland in 5. I don't think Toronto has much of a chance. I thought they were going to choke out to the Bucks. They pulled it out, but Cleveland isn't the Bucks, so I don't think it'll be particularly close.
So you feeling confident that LeBron James can continue on to the finals of the conference?
Yes.
I didn't want to get
the conference finals if you want to.
I didn't want I don't want people getting confused. I know our 0 viewers right now and our tens of watchers during the week.
Tens of
confused. All right, Stefan, and your pick?
The main reason I wanted to switch orders because I thought Corey was just going to copy me because I did so well in the first round. So I wanted to make sure he was picking on his own.
I don't think you're going to make that same pick. So
that's actually what I was thinking before you picked it. I was going to say Cleveland in 5. So I'm going to go. Jesus Christ. I'll go Cleveland in 4. Okay.
Cleveland in 4. Wow.
Yeah. I agree with Corey. I don't think Toronto's that good.
All right. So I'm going to go Cleveland in 6.
Hey, there we go. 4, 5, 6.
And Stefan, you got to change your East Coast, East Coast. Why do I keep saying that? Eastern Conference team, seeing how you picked Washington in the first round.
Do I have to, though? I mean, I could still stick with that. Just, if they lose this round, I mean, I could still. I wasn't sure if Boston was gonna make it out of the first round. That's why I had to go Washington.
All right, we'll let you stick with Washington, I guess.
Just wait till the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals.
Corey's got Cleveland. I'm jumping on that bandwagon because why not? As much as I hate LeBron James, I'll pick him. And moving on to the Western Conference semifinals. Hey, look, I got it. I did it. All right. Golden State versus the Utah Jazz. Apparently, Golden State didn't want Utah to win because it's boring there. Did you see that article?
Yeah, there's no nightlife in Utah.
Yeah, no nightlife in Utah.
I thought that they said that's why they wanted them to win.
No, they wanted LA to win.
Oh,
And we have game 1 starting Tuesday, May 2nd in tomorrow in Utah. 10:30 on
that's not in Utah.
TNT.
Golden State.
Golden State, which is San Francisco for those wondering. And
It's not Oakland?
Or Oakland.
It's Oakland.
Somewhere in there. You gotta land in San Francisco in order to go there. So
Could land anywhere and go there.
let's
Take
see
a
here.
bus.
Corey and Stefan and I picked Golden State to win the conference. Stefan, are you sticking with Golden State this round, or are you changing things up and getting wacky again?
No, I'll stay off the wacky tobacco and stick with Golden State. Golden State, I'll take them in. Jeez. 5.
All right, and I'm gonna go Golden State with a clean sweep,
Wow.
taking them in 4. Corey,
So am I. Clean sweep.
No
Good.
way.
I'm glad I went first then. All right, and moving on to the second matchup, San Antonio versus Houston.
This might be probably this one and the Celtics Washington is probably the only 2 interesting series, I think. The other 2 probably way too easy.
Second game tonight. First game of the series later tonight on TNT. Corey, you picked Houston to win the Western Conference. Are you gonna stick with them?
Yeah, I got Houston in 6.
And Stefan, how you feeling
I'm
about
gonna
this?
take San Antonio in 6.
And I will go San Antonio in 7. So let's see how we do this time around. When's this end? End of May? Is that when this round ends?
Well, this is showing
Mid-May.
Mid-May.
Yeah, mid-May, and then the conference finals end in June. And then the finals usually end around my birthday, mid-June. So
Yeah.
but we'll move on to the other major sport. I guess you could call NHL major sport. Just do a quick recap. I don't think any series has really come close to ending just yet. For a recap, though, let's see here. Stefan's got Anaheim in 5, Nashville in 6. Corey's got Anaheim in 6 and St. Louis in 7. And I have Edmonton in 6 and Nashville in 6. I believe that's the Western Conference. And the Eastern Conference, I have the Rangers in 5, Pittsburgh in 4. Corey's got the Rangers in 6 and Pittsburgh in 6. And Stefan's got the Rangers in 7 and Pittsburgh in 4. And it's looking pretty well for us, Stefan, with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it is.
Currently leading 2-0.
They won both games at Washington.
So they play tonight at 7:30, so in about 20 minutes. Hopefully that series will be over with next week. And then moving down to Ottawa versus the Rangers. The Rangers, both games have gone into overtime, and game 2 went into double overtime. The Rangers had a 5-3. I was watching a little bit of this on Saturday. Had a 5-3 lead in the third period and blew it and lost 6-2. They are now down 2-0. And I don't think anyone picked them. We didn't pick them. We all picked the Rangers. So not looking good for us.
Not looking good at all.
I know we're your only source of NHL's like recaps, but people hold out. We got this. Western Conference, Anaheim is down 2-1 to Edmonton. So your guys' theories of the Ducks being better than Oil or whatever Stefan was. I don't really remember. I was in a cold induced days, so I just remember walking away at one point during this discussion. And
Honestly, I don't even remember what my theories were. So
I think it's going to be part of our next open, probably. So it looks like the Oilers won 5-3 in game 1, 2-1 in game 2, and then the Ducks won 6-3 in game 3. They play next on Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern. And then finally, Nashville has a 2-1 lead over the St. Louis Blues. Corey, not looking good for you right now. Any fears?
No fear.
You're not feeling the Blues yet?
No, not yet.
You're gonna be.
All right. So we might have to make our picks without Stefan next week, so we'll see how that goes.
I could send him in.
I think it'll be doable without him.
I don't think it will.
Stuff. So moving on to NASCAR. Corey, did you watch the race this past Sunday? Where was it?
It was in Richmond. I did not catch it. I heard there was a lot of violations as far as coming to. You have to be in a certain area when you come into the pit. You can't be up in this box, and a couple drivers were penalized and taken down to the bottom because of that. So I heard that was a common frustration. Other than that, I didn't hear much about it. I know Kyle Busch had the lead. He got in trouble for coming into the pit, into the box, and had to go back a lap, and that gave Logano the win.
So just to give you viewers that are closely following our fantasy league, we didn't make our picks last week on the podcast, and we didn't end up making them at all. Well, at least Stefan didn't, and I didn't submit mine in time. So we're giving ourselves a bye week. Where are they racing this weekend?
Talladega.
Talladega Nights.
No restrictor. It's just a free race.
Did you want to give your movie review on Talladega Nights then? Next week?
2 thumbs up.
So for those that don't follow NASCAR too closely, no restrictor plates mean they can go as fast as they want to, right?
Only this race in Daytona are you allowed to. So this is going to be a wild one and normally a fun race to watch if you're in the NASCAR.
Usually there's that quote-unquote big wreck too.
Correct.
So that usually takes out half the field. So it's going to be a fun one to watch. I'm going to go ahead and make my pick for next week and go ahead and pick Matt Kenseth, who I tried to submit in last week.
It's a good pick. Toyotas are hot right now. They're racing well.
He allegedly tried to pick. I don't know if I still don't really believe it.
Kevin, you can mark me down for Chase Elliott.
You're waiting on my pick?
Someone was unprepared.
So let's put some thought into this. We've got the.
That's what I want one of your top fives to be is pound for pound best racers.
Pound for pound.
Yes.
So I gotta look for the heaviest racer. Or what do I gotta do here?
Pound for pound best racers.
I don't even know who I've picked. Do you have that anywhere?
I can pull it up.
I might make a pick that I don't even know if I picked them, so.
I don't have an updated standings, by the way. But, Stefan, you've picked Kyle Busch, Danica Patrick, Allmendinger, Keselowski, Logano, Bauer, Johnson.
And Jimmy Johnson won Bristol when you took him.
Right. By taking Kyle Larson.
You are all clear to pick Kyle Larson.
All right, we'll go with Kyle Larson. Don't even know who that
And
guy is, but he's in third place. So.
He's the only Asian driving.
Oh, really? Shout out to the Asians.
Meant for Bristol. I don't remember. I didn't look into how we did in Bristol stuff. Then you're doing Chase Elliott, so I'll have that updated for us next week. Well, at least for me and Corey. Spoiler alert. And all right, so let's talk a little Major League Baseball. Now we're like 3 weeks into the season. Standings are starting to shape up a little better, so we can talk a little bit about them. Right now, Orioles are in first place and probably one of the toughest divisions in baseball year after year, the AL East, because you've got the Yankees, the Red Sox, and then always a third team that seems to be good. And right now, that's the Orioles.
I don't know. There's some years. There's some years that the Red Sox or the Yankees are having a down year. So.
Yeah, but usually the other three teams are picking up for their slack. Try not to be biased here, Stefan.
Yeah.
Right now, the Yankees are tied. Let me pull that up for everyone. Are tied with the Baltimore Orioles for first place. The big thing for the top four of the AL East is that they win at home but don't win on the road. That's kind of why the Orioles are where they are, because they have the only winning record in the AL East on the road. So
Orioles just lost to the Yankees a couple times, didn't they?
yeah, Tampa got swept by the Yankees. That's why they are 12-4. However, they're 9-4 at home. They're playing Miami Marlins, who we'll see on the National League in just a second. Cleveland's leading in the AL Central, 14-10 record. They actually have a better record away from home, so maybe that cold Cleveland air. Is it cold in Cleveland right now? I don't know.
I feel like they have like the same weather that we do.
Okay. So as it gotten warmer, maybe you'll start to see that record change a little bit. The only other single loss team that's not in the AL East is in the AL West, with the Houston Astros at 16-9. And last year's surprise team of the Seattle Mariners actually doing well. That seems to have been a one-year fluke, because they are 11-15 and sitting pretty tightly at the bottom.
It's not a terrible record, though. They can rebound from that.
Yeah, it's still way early.
Yeah.
Really early. Anything can happen. Are you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Well, I can't see you. I don't have you pulled up, and neither can the viewers. So, the National League, we have the Nationals leading in the NL East, 17-8. I know a lot of disgruntled Mets fans are not too enthused about their performance. They are in last place. They're 4-10 at home, so that has something to do with their amazing record. You can't, in Major League Baseball, you need to protect your home field in order to have decent records.
Well, and Syndergaard's out for who knows how long now.
Mm-hmm. And then the NL Central looks to be very competitive, all separated by 2 games. So, as always, that's a fun division to watch as well. And then in the NL West, the Rockies have a slight advantage over the Diamondbacks, and then you have the lovely San Francisco Giants quickly falling to 7 games behind.
Is Randy Johnson still playing for the Diamondbacks?
No, not yet.
No, not yet.
He might come back out of retirement, help them out, make that playoff push.
I think that was the last time I was actually interested in baseball.
So that leads us to talk a little bit about our fantasy league. Corey finally gave me my first defeat.
You've got a lot of defeats. You got 14 of them.
6-4 I went last week, but I still am in first place by half a game, thanks to some tie that Corey had.
Ryan with the clean sweep. Wow.
Sweet.
I thought I was coming back. I was down like 6-3 or 7-3 at one, or I don't know what the hell I was at. But,
Remember when Ryan was our stat guy? Those were fun
yeah,
times.
those were interesting days.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, you got 2 earned saves in one day. Groovy.
Groovy, baby.
Groovy. Actually, that was won by Ryan's team. So you're not
Yeah,
groovy.
that is. So this week's matchup should be interesting.
Could somebody give me some pointers on how to do a fantasy baseball team? Because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Pick people that do something.
I did. I thought I did.
Maybe I should have my fantasy baseball insider.
Have him take over my team for a week. See if he can
watch he takes over and just woo. Oh, Stefan, you have a 1-0 lead right now.
Hey.
And
first lead
Corey's got a 1-0 lead. The week just starting, so we'll see what happens there. Things to come in this grueling fantasy baseball season for Stefan, at least.
I'm gonna get out of that 4th place. You watch.
All right, moving on to the MLS. I know my team drew, Stefan, your team drew, and the Galaxy drew. So very exciting week for us.
Didn't that happen last week too?
Apparently. My team almost lost. They were down 3-0 and came back to tie it. So, yay, Seattle.
I saw that was a bit of a crazy game.
Mm-hmm. And I don't remember picking a game of the week, so we're going to go ahead and say I didn't.
Yeah, you probably didn't.
DC United defeated Atlanta. Atlanta continues to fall down the standings. Next week, week 9, should be an interesting one between New York City versus Atlanta on Sunday. And then let's see here. Do I want to pick a game of the week? I'll do Seattle versus Toronto because it's the MLS. Oh, no, that's not true. Yeah, it is. It's the MLS Cup rematch, finally. I believe that's on TV. I believe it's on ESPN. Don't quote me. So it'll be on at 3 for you East Coasters. Time zone Pacific that you see. And moving on to the other favorite sport you guys like to talk about.
Yeah.
Premier League soccer. Some things happened. Chelsea beats Everton 3-0. Thanks, Stefan. Your team,
You're welcome.
Team helped out.
We do our best.
And Tottenham secured their first time in 22 years they'll finish above their crosstown rivals of Arsenal by defeating Arsenal 2-0 in the standings, which leads to the standings still separating Tottenham and Chelsea by 4 points and everyone else just looking at them. So it looks like it's going to finish 1-2 here like this with 4 games remaining, and Chelsea's 4 games remaining, I believe, are against these 3, Swansea, Middlesbrough, and Sunderland, and then Watford, all towards the bottom. For those that aren't familiar with Premier League, these bottom 3 teams actually will get relegated to the lesser league, and then the top 3 from that league will get promoted. Or actually, excuse me, top 2 automatically get promoted, and then the next 4 play in a playoff to determine. I was trying to figure out if it was like a 4-team playoff to move up above. So lots of exciting stuff there, at least for me. I know you guys are riveted by this action.
Woo!
Go Arsenal.
Go Arsenal. So my must-watch games for you guys will be the Friday and Monday games with West Ham at Tottenham, another crosstown team for Tottenham, and then Chelsea versus Middlesbrough on Monday. That will pretty much determine if Tottenham has any hope If it's a draw, Tottenham can pull within 2 if they win on Friday. So stay tuned to that. Now we are winding down, and a lot of talk in the middle of this week was about ESPN's layoffs. Did you guys pay attention to any of this?
Yes.
This guy seems to be one that likes to stick out, Ed Werder. And it's kind of interesting how they had him as just the Cowboys correspondent. There's not too many teams that have their own correspondent. Am I correct? Like the only other team, the only other team that did was the Tennessee Titans. And he wasn't even like their team correspondent per se. Like Ed Werder, his only job was to cover the Cowboys. The other guy had like side jobs, so it was more of a side job for him.
You know what I like the best about this article is that it's written by Mark Sanchez.
Mark W. Sanchez.
I'm gonna say it's the actual Mark Sanchez that we all know.
The dirty one.
He probably has nothing better to do. I feel like Ed Werder covered more than just the Cowboys, but maybe I'm wrong. I feel like Sal Palantonio covers the Eagles a lot, but I know
he does.
He also covers other teams. I don't think he
covers Pittsburgh and a lot of teams in the Pennsylvania, New York area.
Right.
Well, it's not loading, so I can't tell you if it is the real Mark Sanchez.
I'm kidding, Kev. I don't think it actually
I know. So I think one of the shockers for me was a couple of the Sports Center anchors. It looks like they're going away from the traditional Sports Center with the change of technology and everything. You guys agree with the change in Sports Center that they should be doing what they're doing, like the Sports Center at 6?
I like what they do. I like Jamel and Michael Hill at 6, so I'm all for the new style. I think it's time to get rid of some of the older journalists anyways.
They got rid of Len Elmore, the college basketball
that
commentator.
One is strange, but
and then according to this article, Ron Jaworski and Merrill Hodge also were laid off. The article couldn't confirm, but this is according to Ed Werder. So there's some traction to it because he doesn't care. I mean, he's not going to lose his job. He already lost it. So it's always interesting to see the different sides. I know Rachel Nichols didn't lose her job, Stefan.
Yeah, she better not. I will literally boycott ESPN if she ever gets laid off. I will delete it from my cable subscription. No more ESPN.
Was Chris Berman laid off, or did he retire last year because he knew a layoff was coming, though?
Oh, who knows? Maybe he caught wind of it and was like, "All right, I'm out."
He was getting.
I know it's mostly because Disney has taken such a big hit, right, Kevin? Financially.
So there's some traction with that, but supposedly there was no pressure from up above. It was more or less a move, so there was no pressure from up above. I know in this day and age, there's a lot of focus more on online, and it sounds like some of them could be hired back. I didn't see anyone really negative about the layoff. They all were like, it was great while it lasted. You know, I got to cover this sport, and I'm trying to think of his name. There was one guy, the former host of Cold Take or Cold Pizza,
Jay Crawford.
Yeah, he was one that got laid off. That one kind of was interesting because I kind of liked him as a Sports Center anchor. And I mean, it's just a sign of the times, really, because they've spent some money on some of these league contracts. So
I think a couple of the ones that were seen interesting to me was Andy Katz got laid off.
Did he?
That's what I saw. I pulled up an article and said Andy Katz. Dilfer supposedly.
Yeah,
he did.
Trent Dilfer, I
Yeah.
saw. Yeah.
Mark Stein. I don't know if you guys. He's an NBA guy.
Yep.
Yeah, right there. Andy Katz. Yeah. And I don't know who is. I feel like I know that Britt McHenry name, and she's pretty gorgeous. So I don't know why she got laid off.
Because that determines.
I feel like they get a lot of those reporters though. They just get. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying they're only there because of their looks, but it's got to help somewhat.
Well, there was a big piece on 60 Minutes or Real Sports with Brian Gumbel on HBO about these new women getting all these jobs strictly based on looks. So
Oh,
for
A
people
lot of-
interested in it, check it out. It was a good one.
It's kind of like facts. Hey, no free advertising. A lot of NHL people were laid off as well. Scott Burnside, Joe McDonald, Pierre LeBrun. Like they've only got the two guys left that usually cover it. It seems like
Barry Melrose.
yeah, Barry Melrose and what's his face, Steve Levy.
Oh yeah, or Barry Manilow, as I like to call him. And I also saw Chad Ford. He was another NBA guy.
Brett McMurphy, he was a lot online for college football, and I was surprised to see him go because he was pretty good at covering some of the leagues, I thought.
They let Chad Ford go?
Yeah,
He's big for their online stuff. That's why I'm
Yeah.
shocked.
he does like all the way through insider stuff.
Yeah.
Jason Stark, who's been there for 17 years, as MLB coverage.
Yeah, this was the site I was on earlier, I think.
So apparently there's a gig open for us now, guys. We got a time slot we can
The
hit.
ceiling is the roof, guys.
Ceiling is the roof for us.
All right. Before we go, did you guys want to talk about John Jones possibly fighting in 214?
I don't know.
Or do we want to save that for next week's UFC special?
I don't know if you saw it, Kevin, or even Corey, but I saw John Jones because I follow him on Twitter. He's one of the few people I follow on there, and he tweeted at DC, "I can't wait to punch you in the face" or something like that. It was like because somebody was calling DC out for the whole towel thing, and DC responded saying that he did not lean on the towel, that whole blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And John Jones was basically just like, I cannot wait to pop him in the face, I think is what he said. So I thought that was pretty fun and interesting. I would love to see that fight happen because those two really, I think, really truly hate each other. That's not even just like trying to sell a fight. They just hate each other.
Well, there's some reason behind it. However, I don't know if Cormier's reason's exactly what you call a good reason, but I don't know. 214, if it holds up, could be another good card because Cyborg may or may not apparently fight on it. It's going to be in Anaheim, and this, according to Dana White, it's not going to be the headliner. It's at most going to be a co-headline. So that makes you wonder who's going to be headline, because if it does, I don't know. It's going to end up being the headliner no matter what, because I feel like something's going to happen to whoever's supposed to headline, or
When is GSP Bisping?
that is still unannounced.
So it could be the headline.
Yeah, but I feel like Bisping's going to get hurt, or GSP is going to get hurt, and that's not going to happen. Conspiracy theory that I am. Theorist. So basically it's John Jones for the taking, though. He's been given the option to accept the fight against Daniel Cormier, or if he doesn't, he's going to get a warm-up fight, and Cormier is going to fight against what's his face. And why am I drawing a blank? Because it's the end of the show, probably. The guy that was calling him out. Corey?
I don't know.
Damn it.
I'd just like to point out that you still can't say his name right.
Potato. Let's hear you say Gonzaga.
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 Gonzaga. Gonzaga. Gonzaga. Gonzaga.
All I can think of is his first name, Jimmy.
Jimmy Butler.
No.
That'd be a hell of a fight, though.
Jimmy Eat World, the whole band.
Jimmy Manawa. There we go. So we'll see if that actually comes. We'll talk more about it next week when we have our special guest. One of the Bens will be joining us. Joining us. And Stefan's going to take a week off because he's got to study for finals, apparently.
No, allegedly.
School is apparently more important than this podcast.
Well,
I don't know why he gets schooled all day long at this podcast.
shit.
Oh, that's probably why he needs a break.
Wow. All I'm saying is 7-8 NBA playoffs. Let's go. 0-9 MLB fantasy baseball.
All right. That's all I have for this on our schedule. Do you guys have anything you want to add before we sign off?
Nothing.
Next Sunday, the biggest fight in boxing of the year is Canelo Alvarez versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. on pay-per-view.
I was going to say, is it on pay-per-view? Otherwise, I'll watch it.
It's a Cinco de Mayo weekend, so.
Yeah. Any big Cinco de Mayo plans for you fellas?
Nope.
Try to stream the fight.
All right. For Corey and Stefan, I'm Kevin. This has been episode 16. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, or however your earbuds are ingesting this nonsense that we're putting out every week. We're going to be weekly from now on, I promise, hopefully, on Mondays.
You can't say I promise, then add in hopefully. Just
I can too. I'm the host. I can say whatever I want to say. Shut up. Until next time, go Syracuse.